History has seen cruel leaders, but every once in a while, a man rises who doesn't just rule a country, he destroys it. Not with bombs, not with foreign invasion, but from within. In the late 1970s, an entire nation was forced into silence. Cities were emptied, families were torn apart, and millions would never return. At the center of it all was one man. His name was Pol Pot, and this is the story of how he turned Cambodia into a nightmare. Pol Pot was not born a monster. He was born in 1925 in a quiet rural part of Cambodia. His real name was Salath Sar, and like many young men of his time, his early life gave no sign of what was to come. He came from a relatively comfortable family. He was educated, even privileged compared to many others in his country. But everything changed when he left Cambodia. In the 1940s, Pol Pot traveled to France for his studies, and it was there, in the heart of Europe, that his ideas began to transform. He became deeply influenced by radical political ideologies, ideas about revolution, equality, and the complete destruction of existing systems. But while others debated these ideas in classrooms, Pol Pot believed in something far more extreme. He believed that to create a perfect society, you had to erase the old one completely. When he returned to Cambodia, the country was already unstable. War was spreading across Southeast Asia. The influence of the Vietnam War was growing, and the Cambodian government was weak. Pol Pot saw an opportunity. He joined a secret revolutionary movement known as the Khmer Rouge, a group that promised to rebuild Cambodia from the ground up. But their vision was not reform. It was total destruction, followed by rebirth by the Khmer Rouge. Mid-1970s, the Khmer Rouge had grown powerful, and in 1975, they did the unthinkable. They captured the capital city, Phnom Penh. The war was over, but something far worse was about to begin. Within hours of taking power, Pol Pot made a decision that shocked the world. He ordered the complete evacuation of cities. Millions of people, men, women, children, the elderly, were forced out of their homes. Hospitals were emptied. Patients were pushed into the streets. Families were separated, all in the name of building a new society. Pol Pot believed cities were corrupt, that modern life had poisoned the city nation. So he wanted everyone to return to the countryside, to become farmers, to live a simple, controlled existence. Money was abolished. Schools were shut down. Religion was banned. Even wearing glasses could make you a target, because it was seen as a sign of intelligence, and intelligence was dangerous. What followed was one of the darkest chapters in human history. People were forced into labor camps, working long hours in brutal conditions, with little food, no rest, and constant fear. Anyone suspected of disloyalty, anyone educated, anyone who questioned the system was eliminated, quietly, systematically. Across Cambodia, mass execution sites began to appear, places that would later be known as the killing fields, where thousands were taken and never came back. By the time the nightmare ended, an estimated 1.7 million people had died from execution, starvation, and exhaustion. Nearly a quarter of the country's population gone. And yet, for years, the world barely understood what was happening. Cambodia had been sealed off, cut off from the outside, a nation trapped in silence, until finally the regime began to collapse. In 1979, Vietnamese forces invaded Cambodia. The Khmer Rouge was overthrown, and Pol Pot was forced into hiding. But even then, he was never truly brought to justice. He spent years moving through jungles and remote areas, still protected by loyal followers, still believing in his vision, until his death in 1998. Today, Cambodia remembers. The scars are still there, in the land, in the people, in the stories passed down through generations. The killing fields remain as silent witnesses to what happened. a reminder of how far things can go when power is combined with extreme ideology. Pol Pot did not just rule Cambodia. He erased its past, destroyed its present, and nearly ended its future, all in the name of a perfect society. Because sometimes the most dangerous leaders are not the ones who seek power for wealth, but the ones who believe they are right, no matter the cost. And that is what makes the story of Pol Pot so terrifying. Not just what he did, but how easily it all began.